Okay, welcome back. There's another episode of Talk 22, hosted by your boy, me, Mizzle to the Jizzle. And we here, hosted by Radio 22. I want to thank everybody that came through last time. I had a nice discussion with the all-female panel that we had, talking about the differences and the issues and stuff related to women dealing with you know, all the drama and stuff that men throw at them and all that kind of stuff. So we do appreciate their take on that. It was very informative. I think we needed to get that one off. So we appreciate all the women that joined us for that panel. But today's topic, I was going through the internet like I do from time to time, and I'm seeing a lot of different stuff. There's videos about WAP. Some of y'all seen that. There's been different stuff between Trump and Biden I see on the internet. And I was coming across some other stuff. And one of the stories I came across was a story about comedian Ellen and the situations that arise on her show, as well as some situations that arrived with the homie Nick Cannon and him get kicked off of his show. And a lot of it was related to stuff that they happened to have had done to them, and or that they did, I guess. And then the media was looking to basically cancel their careers based off of things that they've done. So with that being said, I'm looking at it as like, as cancel culture kind of just gone too far, or how do we all feel about that? So I got my panel today. My panel today is here to help me with that discussion. I got out of the Portage area, recording artist by the name of Keekster. Keekster, unmute your mic and say hello to the people, please.
Good, can you hear me?
Yep. Thank you for joining the show, Keekster.
Definitely.
Also, out of the Chicago, Illinois area, I got the homie Darnell. Darnell, unmute your mic and say hello to the people, please.
What's good, people?
That's what's up. And out of the Madison area, I got comedian Antoine McNeil. Antoine, please say hello to the people.
What up? What up? What up?
That's what's up. That's what's up. We appreciate all you guys for joining the panel. Again, I would like the audience to please leave your comments where necessary on the things that you may want to add to this as well. So at this time, I'm just going to get right into it and start off with my first question. I'm going to bring it to you, Keekster. I'm going to start with you. Do you believe, is it right that we should just discredit all of a person's work based on a statement or something that they made, some immoral statement or actions that they did? Like, is it okay just to erase everything that they've done over their career just off of one moment? What do you think?
I guess it depends on what they're getting canceled for, you know what I'm saying? And it depends on the career, I don't have like a name to use as an example, but just say whoever, someone did something very immorally wrong, and then the media picks it up. It's very quick for not just young kids, but anyone, just to attack them right away and cancel them. But and even if they're innocent too, it doesn't even matter if they're innocent or guilty. As soon as something gets picked up, it's over with. Sometimes, but
Right.
It depends, like if there's some great artist and they do something. I'm trying to think of an example, like the whole R. Kelly situation, I mean, no one's really ever going to forget him as an artist, like, especially people that were around that time. But when he does something like that, it's like, or anyone, it's like, I think it's right in a way to like expose them, and maybe not go support them and buy their merch or whatever the case is. But
okay.
But I definitely don't think it's I don't think it's wrong to per se cancel them. It just depends. But like the whole J. Cole situation, that's something completely different, and that's something that I could go on and on. But that's a short little
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go next to the homie Darnell. Darnell, well, when we look at it, we've seen this. Artists like Kevin Hart, who got kicked off at Oscars because of jokes and stuff that he made. Is cancel culture, is it just gone too far in this society, or what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I think cancel culture is just we're in the time of instant gratification, things like that. As far as the Kevin Hart situation, bringing up stuff from the past, like I know it was wrong, but it's kind of like, why didn't you check him then? You know what I mean? People, honestly, people do a lot of they put a lot of tweets out to gain clout or just to build, what they're doing. Now, me personally, you got to be careful what you say on social media. It stays there forever unless you get it erased. But it really just depends who it is. People have their biases. But this whole cancel culture, people just do that, and then 2 weeks later, they back to it's something else. Just like with Kanye, man, when people was like, oh, I ain't listening to Kanye again. Oh, man, and then they hear that dang classic song or, his new music come out, then they forget. So I think it's just one of those, we were so distracted quickly. So the next shiny object that's around, boom, it's on to the next, man. So I'm not really into cancel culture. People make mistakes, but you kind of have to look at what they say and what their actions were to really like cancel somebody. And at the end of the day, like I said, people make mistakes, people change over time. So you can't hold people for something that they did in the past, especially if they've changed and they've apologized for it and have shown actions to show like, hey, that wasn't me anymore or whatever the case is. But social media nowadays, people do everything for clout. So that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Antoine, you're a comedian, and based off of the way that the world is working right now, a lot of these comedians are held to a different standard off of jokes and stuff that they say. People just even former jokes that they said back in the day, like we were saying with the Kevin Hart situation. We looking at it where, is it right to discredit everybody's whole catalog of everything they've ever done over their career off of something they maybe said or done, in a one moment? What's your thoughts
I
on
think,
that?
I think it's less about discrediting them versus holding them accountable for, what their personal actions, because business is personal at some times, however you take care of your personal business, it does cross over. So I won't call it cancel culture, but there are some people that we're gonna have to let go, and some of the things that they do personally can't affect it. Be held accountable. I'm absolutely effing with you, not at all. I'm a comedian, so at any rate, I always believe that I don't believe in cancel culture. I think it's garbage. I was just really messing with you, but you can't take away. I was totally messing with you. I'm a comedian. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm saying that is because we say things that's going, like even just using at a comics level, there's going to be jokes. All jokes are about something and someone, regardless. So if I talk about a race, a gender, ethnicity, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't want that to come back months or years later and somebody's upset with me. You can't take away my art. You might not like what I did or what I said, but my art is still going to be able to stand.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm gonna move on to the next question then. I'm gonna go to Darnell. Should entertainers be held accountable for the material or the art that they put out?
I think it just depends the aspect, but yeah, as far as musicians, artists, whatever, I think they should be held accountable. Well, it just depends on what regards. As far as music, most of these entertainers now, these rappers or whoever, they may be speaking, through another person, or it just be entertainment for their lyrics. It may not even be true. So, but I think you should stand, whatever you put out, you should stand by. Don't back down. Just like with the whole Nick Cannon situation. If that's what he said, then he said. If that's what he believed, now he can articulate in a way, where it, why he's trying to get his point across. But when you have certain people in positions where they control you, you know, he had to do a little backpedaling, you know what I mean? But if you plan on saying something, you just have to know that it's going to be out there forever, and people are always going to come back and, you know, come back to you for it, or pull up the receipts for you just to be like, hey, this is what you said, you know what I mean? So I think anything you're going to put out, you just got to make sure that's what you want to represent you, and stand by it, man. Don't back down, because you look worse while you like, well, I'm sorry, I mean it, I apologize, or you know, if it makes you just sound like a punk, just don't even, if you know that, you know, don't even say it in the first place if you know that you may get some backlash.
Okay. Antoine, same question to you, I guess. Do you believe that entertainers should be held accountable for the material that they put out? I mean, we look at situations like Kevin Hart, for instance, like I said, put out jokes years ago, and the people look at it and took at it as a situation as him being homophobic. You know, him at the time was saying that was just his jokes, his comedy, but in this day and age, people don't look at it that way. What is your thoughts as far as the material that an entertainer would put out? Do you feel like they should stand on that?
I honestly think all entertainers should be held accountable for the material that they put out. I think what happens is the public perception keeps forgetting that art is subjective. So if I put out I can put out a post. 99% of my Facebook posts or my comedy is like controversial. And I say these things, but people don't realize the intent. If the intent was to laugh, or the intent was to bring up a sensitive subject, the intent is not to harm. So ultimately, yes, you should be held accountable to your material. So someone should say, hey, Kevin, you said X, Y, and Z, or hey, you know, whoever, you know, R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, those are some of the most famous. Like, what's the intention? So you should be held accountable to the art that you put out. But you got to realize art is subjective. I can have 99 laughs and 4 people with the sad crying emoji, and those people who are affected are typically going to speak up more than those people who were entertained and who like it. So yeah, like if somebody draws something that might be, let's call it sexual or something, somebody got to look at that and be like, what was your intention? Why did you do that? And listen to the artist. You can go with oh, I was offended and I blah blah blah, but what was their intention? If that wasn't their intention, you know what I'm saying? Like, why focus on the negative when you can focus on the positive? But that's just the way I think. So yeah, you should be held accountable. I got a joke about how God set Jesus up to be killed. You get what I'm saying? I got a joke about how God set Jesus up to be killed. And when people come to me, I can tell them the basis of that joke and what is meant and why, but it's not to offend Christians. You know what I'm saying? Hold me accountable. Lock me up. Throw away the key.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that. Kingster, same question to you. We look at it, you know, even recording artists like Eminem, you know, things have been brought up about his past and some dicey verses that he had, you know, that have came back to be looked as racially insensitive and even misogynistic. So we looked at it, and with different artists saying the things that they say, do you believe that they should be held accountable to things that they say in the past or in the future, or the art that they put out?
Yeah, I mean, I think artists, people, human beings should be held accountable for, you know, any actions. But, you know, if someone, for like Eminem as an example, you know, 20 years ago or, you know, a decade ago or whatever the case is, you know, says something offensive, you know, no one's the same person as they were a decade ago. Hopefully not. Hopefully everyone evolves. You know, I'm 20 now. I'm not at all the same person I was when I was 16. The 16-year-old me is not the same person when I was 10 years old, you know? So if someone says something offensive or does some type of action that's, you know, offensive or wrong when they're 20 years old, you know, at 35, it comes out in the media or whatever the case is, it's like, you're not gonna be able to stop the media ever, I don't think. But, you know, I think real recognize real, and I think people should understand that, you know, someone you know, they say someone says a comedian says a racist joke or something like the whole Kevin Hart situation, and then what was it, 10 years or you know, however long down the line, all of a sudden he's trying to get canceled and they're trying to say he's a bad person. It's like, well, he's not the same person that you know he was when he made the joke. And also too, it's like, you know, if you got a family member or a friend that says something, you're sitting around having a couple beers with them and they say a racist joke or homophobic joke or whatever the case is, it's like, even if it was like messed up, you could tell them like, hey, it's messed up, but you know them all your life. Or just like if you're a fan of an artist, you know that they might have just said something that was wrong, but I know they should have just reworded it. Or if you confront them, they'll be like, oh yeah, I probably definitely shouldn't have said that, but I didn't mean it like that. But yes, you should be accountable for what you say, but I think forgiveness is also important too.
Okay. I also agree with that. The homie Nick Cannon, he did also say to media who asked him, he said, you know, I don't believe that it should be cancel culture. It should be where you counsel culture. He believes that a lot of times you should throw out, there's an opportunity for you to teach the person something the correct way, you know, where instead of just harping on them and just canceling them out, he believes that this is an opportunity that you can like actually teach somebody and show them that the way that they were thinking wasn't a correct route, you know, and show that. And I think Nick Cannon is trying to learn from his mistakes with that. So shout out to the homie Nick Cannon. I'm gonna move on to the next question though. Darnell, do you believe that a person's TV character or a persona, their image, should influence the real life character or vice versa?
I'm sorry, say that again. My connection was kind of going out.
Do you believe that a person's TV character or their image should influence a real life character or their real life situation or vice versa? I mean, a lot of people looked at the Ellen situation and people love Ellen, you know, and to believe that Ellen could be capable of such a, you know, heinous type situation or bringing that kind of attitude towards her staff, you know, allegedly, we're going to say, they just can't believe that. But do you believe that like somebody's like TV character should have anything to do with how we take it in reality?
No, man, because it's all entertainment, man. Like I said, it's just, I always say this, it's like your favorite celebrity, a person you like, you have to respect them for what they do, because 9 times out of 10, I mean, you're going to run into them, and just the same way you see them on TV, you may see them at a time, at a bad moment, and they may be, you know, kind of brush you off or kind of like disappoint you, because we hold celebrities or entertainers at a higher pedestal. Then when we realize that they're human, we get mad. So it's just kind of like, you have to respect them for the art that they do. Now, I would say as far as TV characters and movie characters, you got to separate the two. They're clearly playing a character, you know what I'm saying? But if they do their job well, you're always going to associate them with that. You know, for example, like a Tupac or something like that, you know, people always thought that was him. But if you really knew him, there's other sides to him, just like everyone else. So until you know the person, as far as if you know him on a personal level, you're able to distinguish the two. But we have some people out here that think these characters walking around, or these people that are walking around, that the characters they play, they're like, oh my God. You know, it's like, come on, man. It's who they play on TV. And the more emotional you get, it's like, damn, they're really doing their job. But as far as the Ellen situation, we don't know. So, you know, none of us were there. So I'm pretty sure that, especially with comedians too, man. Yeah, alleged. So it's, you know, they have to, it's just like MJ, man. If you weren't from Chicago and you didn't know how Michael Jordan really was, you would swear he's a saint. But then you know, when his Last Dance came out, when there's no social media, when it was just word of mouth, and now you're starting to see all these stories behind the scenes, you're like, damn, you look at the person in a different way. You know, it's just, you have to put a facade on, you know, for you to get your money or be in the entertainment world. But then behind the scenes, it's totally different, man. So I think separating private and public life is key, man. So I don't hold the two together. They're two totally separate things.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna come to you, Antoine, with the same question there. Uh, Basically, I look at it. Me and my kids, we still will catch an episode of the Cosby Show, despite knowing what's going on and what may have happened with him there. But should a person's TV character influence your real life judgment of that person, or vice versa? Should their celebrity uh, influence you in any way?
No, I mean, no, not at all. I mean, I think logically, we can't hold a person's character, TV character, to who they are. They're getting paid. They're actors. You know what I'm saying? They got paid to act. So Bill Cosby or what is it, Cliff Huxtable, the person,
Right.
does not equate to Bill Cosby, the person. So that's where I look at the art versus the person. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I would say no. It doesn't matter your level of celebrity. It could be Oprah. It could be Obama. Like we can pick and think about Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest names. At some point in time, their celebrity is going to they're still human. So they're going to be humanizing by having human experiences. So if they f up, their fans are going to hold them accountable, whatever that means. But
Mm.
will I be still banging some Michael Jackson and Thriller? Yeah. Will I still be listening to R. Kelly? Mm-hmm. Will I still be watching the Cosbys? Yeah. I know that's something that's a teachable moment for me. I got a 9-year-old daughter. I got sons. So I have to be able to use it as a teachable moment and try to say,
Mm.
even though these people like to teach against celebrity and fame, you know what I'm saying? So even though these people may have this level of status or fame, we're not starstruck. They're regular people like us. They do things negative and positive. So no, it don't matter what level of celebrity you got in I guess your character does not equal your actual character as a person.
Okay. Uh, I'm gonna move on to another question to you, Kickster. I need to know from you. This day and age, a lot of celebrity news comes out, and basically whatever TMZ says about you is probably what they're saying happened. But the way I'm looking at it, are you truly innocent until proven guilty in today's media, or what is your thoughts on that?
Think in the media, I don't think I don't think it matters if you were innocent or guilty. You're guilty right away to the media, to the people that are commenting on the keyboards, to whoever. To 90%, I would say you're guilty no matter what. And then even if it comes out in 5 years or the next day that no, it was fake news, it's still, people still have that in your head. As soon as you see something online that's like, for example, so and so sexual assaulted someone. As soon as you read that, even if the next day it comes out as that was fake news, that percept or they have that perception on this individual now because they read it, and then people that are going to talk about it for a while, and some people won't read later that it wasn't true. So then it's still going to be, some people are going to think it's true. So yeah, it's definitely like as soon as the media puts it out there, you're you're guilty no matter what. But
Mhm.
hopefully, hopefully, in some circumstances, like in the future, the artist or whoever um, can really prove themselves, and put it out there, and whatever it is, a social media post, and give proof that it wasn't true and whatnot, and so they're not canceled, because you get canceled so fast,
You do. Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Darnell, same question to you. You look at artists like Michael Jackson, there really hasn't been any, you know, full evidence that says this is exactly what he's done. There's been speculation. He's never been found guilty of anything, but a lot of us all still have our perspective on what he maybe would have done with some of the kids that he allegedly did something. Uh, do you believe that you're found guilty till proven innocent in today's media?
Yeah, man, the media controls a lot, and just depends who's ever controlling the media wants to put out that whatever rhetoric they put out or whatever message they want to put out. That's what's going to be, man. It's like whoever is in control. So, you know, people as humans, we love negativity, we love, you know, gossip and all that. That sells. You know what I mean? That's just that's more interesting. It's boring if it's like something positive. Unfortunately, the good in this world, the people that are doing good things doesn't get the light like negativity, man. So I would say the media does have a huge role to play with that. So it's kind of like if you're going to be in the media, if you're going to be in the spotlight, that's something that comes with the territory. And you really have to like know, all right, what am I willing to give up? You know, because there's some sacrifices that you got to give. You know, if you want this fame or that life or whatever, in that spotlight, you're going to constantly be scrutinized. And you really have to have a small or group of people around you that protect you as well. You really have to cover your private life, because people, the more that they don't know about you, the more they're going to speculate. You know what I mean? The less you give them, the more they're going to talk about it. And you just have to be ready to like take whatever comes your way. Because that just comes with the territory, unfortunately, man. I mean, as humans and you know, as we are, we just negativity sells, and especially with media, if they need more eyes, they're more clickbait. They're gonna put whatever is gonna sensationalize that topic out there. That's gonna bring more viewers. So if it means tearing you down or going with a false story or based on a rumor, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. Unless you got a good lawyer team that can, you know, sue for slander or, you know, be compensated. But yeah, people just, they want to hear the bad. They want to hear the bad. They, you know, they just want to hear the bad from you for the good. It's just boring if there's no dirt on you, you know. So.
Right. Well, I agree with that. Antoine, I'm gonna ask you the same question, I guess. We look at it. Charlamagne the God says, no one cares about the truth when the false is more entertaining. You know, we see a lot of the blogs and a lot of media like TMZ will put out stories and stuff on entertainers, and there may not be any accuracy to the story, but when we're looking at it, are you guilty to proven innocent? Or is that just part of the territory, like Darnell said?
That's 100% sure. You definitely you're definitely guilty to proven innocent. I tend to say an accusation is almost as good as being guilty. It doesn't matter what you have done personally. I can accuse you of something right now as we're on live. Now you have to find out a way to unprove it. It's hard to prove something that's not true. You get what I'm saying? So if I say you blah, 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 now you have to prove that you didn't do it. So yeah, in today's society, you are guilty into proven innocent. And especially in the media, now you're convicted in the social media court. I don't necessarily know what Ellen did at all. I just know whatever it is, it seems as though there are some people in the media making a push to say that Ellen did something. I don't know what that is, but a month ago, 2 months ago, Ellen was everybody wanted to be on the Ellen show. Ellen's amazing. Right. We all wanted to win stuff from her. And now I don't even know what she did because I don't really follow the court of public opinion like that. And now I guess she's bad. I don't even know what she did. I was hoping somebody enlightened me. And that, I guess that's how the world works. If you, there, and this is one of the reasons I was making reference to maybe having a woman on this episode, is because like use something like rape or molestation, or man abusing a woman. If you're accused of that, it does not matter if you're guilty or not. You have to try to unprove something that's not true, and that's the hardest thing to do. So I don't know. I say let the court decide. Let the evidence decide it. That's my opinion.
Man, I real quick, just to jump in, I look at it, man, it's like, yeah, reputation is a lot, but at the end of the day, man, people gonna talk, you know, they'll say stuff, whatever, but it really depends on your pockets, man, and how you move in life and how you feel about yourself. if people's opinions affect you, man, you're going to have a tough time in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Or the industry of media or entertainment. Like, it's going to tear you down. So you really gotta be strong as a person. And like I said, the people around you got to keep you grounded, because it's going to come at you. So you're going to have that armor to either, to protect yourself or you don't succumb to it,
Takes a lot of thick skin. I do agree with you.
Can I say one thing real quick, Jizzle?
Of course.
I just want to add on to what he was saying really quick, is your skin can be as thick as I don't know what. But when you start losing endorsements, start losing money, start losing fans, having thick skin is one thing. Like, you can take the punches and you can roll with it, but what happens when it starts to affect your money and your family? And now you're going to school and they're like, your dad's a rapist, or your mom's a pillhead. The truth is more entertaining, and a lot of people don't really care about the truth, nor care to do their own research. So we're living in a society to where an accusation and a lie is more valid and holds more weight than truth.
That's a great point. Great point. Just to also be clear, as of July 27th, the Ellen DeGeneres Show had officially been placed under investigation by Warner Media. More recently, former employees spoke out about her and possible other people being subjecting people to sexual harassment and misconduct at the hands of several of the show's executive producers. And a lot of people have jumped into that. I'm hearing that even one of the people on the show, Twitch, now has been promoted possibly to executive producer based off of that incident that's happened, because of some other people being fired, allegedly. So just to be clear on that situation, since some of you at home maybe is unaware of what I'm talking about with the Ellen situation, as Antoine was. But I'm gonna move on to the next question. With that being said, do you believe that you should be fired from your current job for an incident from your past? I'm gonna start with you, Keekster. What do you believe with that?
Kind of like all I'm talking about. It just depends on the incident, and what your job is. If your job is a school teacher, and then they find out 10 years ago, or now you're getting charged for, molestation or some shit, of course, definitely. But, it depends. It's like, if you want to go back to the Kevin Hart situation, it's like, per se, he can't get fired in a way because he's an entrepreneur in a way. Of course, he's got deals and all that. But in that case, for a joke he said 10 years ago, I don't think he should be fired. But if we go to the first example I used, then yes. So I think it just depends, everything just depends on the, situation and the, circumstance. It's hard to give like a straight yes or no, but.
Okay. Darnell, I'm gonna ask you the same question. I mean, we're looking at even thanks to the social media, we've seen the video with the police officers now and the situations that they go through with the social unrest and such. And shout out to the lady in the video. You're gonna lose your job. With that being said, do you believe that a person should lose their job off of an incident that happened maybe in their past?
Like Keisha was saying, I think it just depends on the severity. If you want to always be in a position where you're your own boss, so you don't, you're not relying on somebody or, at the mercy of somebody. As we all know, being in corporate and stuff like that is a lot of bias. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. But I really think it just depends. Now, if you working in a bank and you was caught stealing in the past, stealing out of accounts, and you're trying to get another bank job or something, yeah, that's going to affect. It's kind of like your credit, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of, it's a score of what you done in the past, but it just really depends as far as what it, how severe it was. But like the cop that just lost his job for speaking out against the whole George Floyd situation, they investigated and, he just did a TikTok video on like what they could have did better and his opinion, and he ended up losing his job for it. And I don't think that's right. You know what I'm saying? But when you're working in certain fields and you know you don't have control of the superiors above you, you really got to make that decision. It's like, all right, do I quiet and keep my check, or do I speak out and risk being fired? You know what I mean? And it all goes back to even with Muhammad Ali back in the 60s, man, when he lost when he was, you know, with the Nation of Islam and speaking out, and for him to be doing that at that time, a black man celebrity, you know, at a time where, you know, we were fighting for rights and stuff like that, he still spoke out, and he lost a lot of stuff, and people wanted him jailed and all that. But you really just got to determine, like, what's more important, feeding my family, or do I need to just sit this battle out and know the long term for the war, or do you just go all out? You know, a lot of money has a lot of effect on people, because it's a tool that you need to get ahead in life, or you need to, you know, be able to live a certain lifestyle. Right. And with that money, it comes a price. You know, everybody could be bought. Everyone has a price. So you really got to know, like, all right, do I want control? Do I want freedom? Or do I want to get this bank, but knowing that it could be taken away from me, or I got to answer to somebody that I may not like? We all have jobs. I've had jobs where we don't like our boss or coworkers, but when you sign up, when you paying somebody, they kind of have to do what's in the job description. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's the thing that people go through every day. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Antoine, we're going to ask you the same question then. You know, do you believe that, you know, we look at it where, I guess, especially in the African-American community, we look at it where a lot of things we realize we don't own stuff. Like, even stuff we think we own, there's usually like a bank or something, or somebody over us that really is the one that truly owns it. As I hate to say, but Kanye even kind of mentioned that about the things that we truly own and versus what we really don't own, you know. Even him having to deal with his shoe company, he doesn't really truly own it. The shoe company does. So we all have somebody to answer to, but do you think that it's right to fire somebody based off of something that they maybe said or done in their past?
I don't think it's right to fire somebody who, whoa, that's echoing. I don't think it's right to fire somebody for something they said or done in their past, because A, we all have a past. B, if your application or job or whatever that was, ask that question like, hey, I always look at it like this. Is it directly related to the job? Is it something that they didn't disclose? If they kept it real on what they did and what they said and what they done, and it's not directly related to the job, then it is what it is. So, you know, like even using Kevin Hart in the Oscars, I guess technically it was directly related to the job and what he said. But you're talking about a comedian. So I have a 9-to-5. You should, man, I be showing out on social media. I've done things in my past. If it has nothing at all to do with my job and I'm able to effectively do my job, why does what I did in the past matter unless I lied to you? If you ask me about it and I lied to you, then do that. But no, I mean, the past is a past for a reason. There's no perfect person. So I say, you know, just think about felons that come out, criminals come out of jail.
Right.
If a person was selling dope, do that mean they shouldn't be around kids? But if they sold dope, they've been in jail 10, 15 years. If somebody had guns before, do that means that they shouldn't be around elderly people? You get what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with your job. So if it's directly related to the job, you can consider. If they lied to you, then you can consider it. But other than that, nah, keep it rolling, keep it moving. Don't try to judge somebody if they pass, because we all got to pass.
And just to piggyback on that real quick, man. I mean, that's a great point, and
Yeah.
I think honestly, man, people just held at a different standard. You know what I'm saying? Just let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were a Caucasian or you were black, or I mean, depending on the job and the position, society may look at you in a different way, especially that employer. Not everybody's going to be judged the same way, especially with social media and the information age that we live in. You can find out any information on a person from their past or their references and all that, and they can use that to make a decision. And again, when you're working at a job, you're putting your income or your path or whatever in the hands of somebody else that may or may not have a bias towards you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so tough. Like, I think now we're in an age where you can make your own money, just build up your own brand, and make people come to you instead of like begging for a job, not begging for a job, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the past it was different, but now with so much access to stuff, man, you really don't have to, like I said, beg for somebody. It's just your mindset, and do you want that paycheck every, 2 weeks on clockwork, or are you willing to take that risk and maybe earn a little bit more, but it's yours. You got the freedom to do and say what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So Dame Dash says it all the time, man. I'm sure you be seeing Dame Dash videos or his IG and stuff.
I think we're losing Spades a little bit. Darnell there a little bit. Internet's going in and out. I'm gonna move on to Kingster. I'm gonna ask you. The way that we kind of look at it, a lot of artists from back in the day, they got the luxury of just being artists. Some of my favorite artists from back in the day, I had no idea of who they were dating. I had no idea of where they went on vacation. I had no idea of a lot of this stuff that they did in their personal life. Do you believe that with social media that we just know way too much about our celebrities these days? Or what is your feelings on that?
Yeah, definitely. A while ago, Tupac era and all that, you didn't know, there wasn't Instagram stories and Snapchat stories, you feel me? Like posting what you're eating, there wasn't any kind of that stuff. So it's definitely different, and it's a cool thing and a bad thing at the same time. It's cool to have more of a personal interaction with your celebrity, artist, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be very cursed. It can be cursed, and it can be dangerous because a lot of, especially with rappers in general, you're out Saturday night, popping Molly or whatever the case is, you might get on live and say something that you wouldn't have said, and it's definitely dangerous. But yeah, I think it is a good thing and it's a cool thing. But from back in the day, it's like you said before, it's like you didn't know too much. You didn't know what they're eating or what they're wearing every day. You just saw them on stage, your TV and all that. So definitely a big difference, and it's but I also at the same time I think it's easier now more than ever to get famous, because you don't even have to. You can be like, I can name a bunch of artists, but your music could be but your personality is what pops off, and then your music kind of comes with that. So
that is definitely true.
You don't even have to be, having, especially for mumble rap, the term. That's, in my opinion, that's a lot of the cases. Like the music isn't even like, it's mediocre, but their personality and maybe their looks, I don't know, rather some whoever, but the personality is what pops off and makes these kids in particular, but anyone, fall in love with them as almost like worshiping them as a person. And then they love them so much as a person, they think they're cool or whatever the case is. And then it's like, then they want to listen to the music, and then they're like tricking their own brain, thinking their music is, great, when it's, back then, no one, you think it's trash, so.
True. I mean, yeah, they say a lot of people are famous just for being famous. The whole Kardashian family is famous for that. If it wasn't for Kim, we probably wouldn't have known any of them. But we now know all the sisters thanks to Kim, right?
Right.
and a lot of them are now making millions of dollars based off Kim's fame. So I mean that is very notorious. There's also a lot of people like Karuchi, who what is her talent? We know her because of Chris Brown. You know, we don't know anything other than that in her modeling, maybe. So I mean, there's a lot of people out there like that. But I definitely agree with you. When it comes to the fame, it's easy to catch these days, but you know,
My bad.
that is, that is just one of the differences that you see these days compared to back in the day. I'm gonna ask you, Antoine. The way we look at it, you know, even I'm gonna go to the comedians. You know, a lot of my favorite comedians from back in the day, I know more about them now than I knew about them back in the day when I was watching and loving the stuff that they were doing. You know, I had no idea about stuff about comedians like Martin or some of my favorite comedians that I used to watch back in the day. You know, there's been different allegations brought up on almost all of them. People that I feel like my whole childhood has been ruined. But basically, what I'm saying is, do you believe that there's just too much being known from the celebrities these days based off of social media and stuff like that we see?
I had to take a big drink real quick so I can. I had to take a big drink so I can.
I
say
see that.
this. In terms of knowing too much, no, we can't ever know too much. Knowing too much about people is how much like I'm a person who grew up before the internet was happening and cracking. I understand that the internet now is the internet is their library. People will not even say, hey, they won't even Google where's a car lot. They'll ask Facebook, hey, where's a car lot? Where can I get my windows tinted? They won't go and do the internet search. So basically the World Wide Web is doing its job. It's being the World Wide Web. The crazy part is you have to have a brain to decipher what's true or not. So back in the days, that's called reference checking. Back in the days, you would have a thesaurus, you would have dictionaries, you would have forget them big as encyclopedias. You would have those to be able to do a reference check. And now I can literally I can write a Wikipedia on you right now that has nothing to do with the truth. Like I said, I can accuse you of something, and it has nothing to do with the truth. I know there's actors that people don't even know the actor's age because somebody else wrote their bio. They're like, nigga, I'm not 39, you know what I'm saying? I'm not 40. So I don't believe in this is too much information out here. I just think like people have to be able to use their brain to find out what's true and what's not. If somebody digs up or looks up me and whatever they come up with is their decision. I'm a firm believer that's them people's business. You can feel how you want to about me and never even know me at all. That's your feeling. Choose to feel that way. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Now, if you want the truth, you can either ask me or go to a reliable source. So always consider the source. If you know a woman who's very scorned and very bitter, and she tell you her baby daddy, blah, 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 consider the source. But if you know somebody who's extremely logical, who's intelligent, why wouldn't you consider that source? So no, like you can take all the information about Kim Kardashian. We can probably find out the color of her eyes, her nose hairs, how often she gets waxed, how, you know what I'm saying, how often her and Kanye maybe have sex, what Kanye's mental disease is. If you want to know it, that's on you. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to know all that. But if you want to find it out, that's what you get. You keep sticking your nose in something, you're gonna find something. I keep my nose on my face.
Fair enough. Okay. Darnell, we're gonna go to you with the same question. I mean, do we look at it? There's just too much info out there with social media. I mean, a lot of my favorite artists from back in the day, I knew not nearly as much as these kids know about the people that they follow these days. That's basically thanks to social media. What is your thoughts on that?
Man, it's a different time, man. Especially when we was listening to music, you know, we didn't have access. So the mystery, you know, it's kind of like when there's that mystery, it makes you want like be interested more. But I think I think sometimes with social media and people posting stuff, it's a little bit too much, man. Like, I mean, you know, with your favorite celebrity, what they doing in the morning, what they eating for breakfast, and certain things, it's like it can be cool, but it's not necessary. I don't think it's too much information. I think we're in an age where, like, you know, Antoine was saying, it's the source. You know, how important is that information to you? Now, I love Hove, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I hear stuff that he's doing for the community and stuff that he's doing outside of music, or, you know, using his platform to where he's got now to benefit the community and being a businessman, I love that shit. I love hearing all that. But at the end of the day, too, I love the music. But, you know, little stuff that you hear, I think what people like to know is that it takes them away from their lives. So if they're looking at the celebrity as somebody they look up to and make their life as interesting, it gives them, but they don't have to think about maybe their daily life or the boring shit that they're doing or the misery that they're going through. So I think everyone is different, but there's certain things that I just don't care to know. It's just what interests me. So whatever, I respect you for what you do. If you do a little more outside of that, great. I'm not going to be, I could be a fan, but I'm not going to be a fanatic. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, too, you get so caught up in someone else's life, you ain't focused on what the fuck you got to do. You ain't making that money.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a bank teller counting other people's money. That would be motivation for me to fucking want to get my own money. I'd be like, I can't do this. I'm counting other people's money. So you just have to, sometimes, like I said, with news and social media, you got to give yourself a break because it overwhelms you and people start getting depressed comparing their life to what the celebrity is doing. And then behind the scenes, that shit ain't even true. It's a lie. They just doing it for followers, or they living in their car, or whatever it is, man. So you just really have to be mindful of what people put out there. Know yourself, know your goals, know what the fuck you got to do. And don't worry about anyone else, because nobody's thinking about you like you thinking about a celebrity, you know what I mean?
This is very true. There's a lot of people just doing it out for clout. And we do
Man.
understand that. But, I mean, to take your point, though, even Hove, as much as we follow and love Hove, a lot of people followed that Lemonade album that Beyonce put out, a lot of information on Hove.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, he had to reply with a 444 album that also made some money. And a lot of people followed both of those albums. So it isn't something that people just discredit, though, I wouldn't say. So it's something that a lot of people do still follow. But I do agree with you. Not everything is what it says. And I do agree with Antoine that you do have to listen to the source and understand who's saying what. So it is kind of all in all. You all are correct with that. So last question. I'm gonna go and start with Antoine. Antoine, I'm gonna ask you the final question here. Can ignorance be unlearned? If somebody does something that is stupid, you know, like Nick Cannon kind of say, it shouldn't be cancel culture. It should be where you are counsel culture and you teaching them something in that situation. We look at Deshaun Jackson and some of these other football players, and even I want to say Drew Brees even made a statement out there that he had to kind of learn from. Is there a situation that can people unlearn ignorance?
Yeah, I definitely think you can unlearn ignorance. The whole point of ignorance is that you don't know. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I do know that ignorance just pertains to you don't know something. There are things that you do not know. And to unlearn it just basically means to learn. So yeah, if Nick Cannon would, and I would use that as an example, man, our people, we praise Nick and we praise Wild 'N Out and everything else. And then there are many people of the Hebrew culture, and especially many African Americans, Hebrew Israelites in particular, who talk about the black man X, Y, and Z and being an original Hebrew Israelite X, Y, and Z. I don't have that full amount of understanding or experience, but I do know that if Nick spoke from his perspective, he spoke from his level of knowledge or what he thought his knowledge was. If he was
Sure.
able to speak to a rabbi, a priest, or somebody else, I don't think that ignorance is a bad thing. It just means that you don't know. It's when you don't want to know is the problem. So when you use mostly African Americans, when we use the word, when we get called the word NIGGA, it's typically pertaining to, where I'm never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. It is pertaining to it's things that you don't know. So it's like, oh, to make a long story short, there's going to be things that we all don't know. My 9-year-old daughter can teach me something. My 23-year-old son can teach me something. My 17-year-old son can teach me something. I am ignorant to those things. I can also teach them something. So in order to unlearn it, I just have to be willing to learn. So ignorance can be unlearned because all that just means is you don't know something about something and you want to take the time to know. Some people are ignorant because they choose to stay that way, and they say ignorance is bliss because they don't choose to grow, they don't choose to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. I didn't stop learning because I graduated high school. Everybody else was like, we made it, congratulations. I actually wrote in my high school words is, this is the first step in the ladder. Like, we're continuing to learn, and I'm a lifelong learner. So anything that you say or somebody else's opinion, I'm learning. I'm ignorant of that until I learn it.
Okay. Thank you for that. Keekster, we look at it a lot of situations, where people are just quick to cancel you, like we stated in here. Do you think that there's ever a situation that people can unlearn the behavior or unlearn the rhetoric that they put out and learn from it? That maybe what they said it. I mean, is this a learning opportunity instead of canceling? Is this a learning opportunity for people?
Yeah, like he said, to unlearn is to learn. I kind of agree with that. It's life's all about learning, whether you're an artist, celebrity, or you're 5 years old or 65 years old. As humans, we're just here to, experience and learn from everything that we experience. And it's, you can mess up. Whatever age you are, you can say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. Like Nick Cannon, I'm not fully aware on the whole Nick Cannon situation, so I guess I can't use that as an example. But it's from what it sounds like he said something wrong, or he said something that was ignorance. I think that's right. If that's right.
Yeah, who? I'm sorry, I missed what you just said.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say something about Nick Cannon, but I wasn't sure exactly on the whole
Oh,
situation.
Nick Cannon had a situation where I guess he stated some rhetoric about what he believes about the Jewish uh, upcoming and the Jewish race and where it all started from and stuff like that. And I guess it was what was perceived as hateful words towards those who are of Jewish descent um, speech. So, I mean, from that situation, he did lose his job on his MTV show that he had or VH1 show that he had while and out. But
Hmm.
he has since then reached out to different rabbis and tried to learn more about the culture and their perspective on it so he could speak with some more knowledge on the subject in the future. So shout out to Nick Cannon on his ability to try to reach out and learn from a situation that maybe, it cost him a lot of money and it was an ugly situation for him. But based off of that, I guess that's where I'm coming with this question is it a situation where you feel like someone can learn from these situations?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. If he said something hateful, whatever the case was, I'm not sure if he has come out and apologized. I know he said he's like talking to some people in that culture. But yeah, he definitely has or anyone, has the opportunity to learn and grow from it. Just like I was stating before, is We're all here
Okay.
to learn and, you know, correct our mistakes. And we're going to say ignorant things at times. We're going to do ignorant things. And hopefully we can learn from them.
Okay. Lastly, Darnell, I'm giving you the final word. Do you believe that it should be council culture rather than cancel culture?
Yeah, I think, like I think we can all agree in this panel, man, sometimes it's ignorance. You just don't know. And if you take the time to learn and see another side and perspective and make a decision on your opinion or what you're doing, that's fine. If you choose not to, then it makes it even worse. Like you're choosing not to learn something new. And you have people out there that do it. But like I said, I think what Nick Cannon said also too, I think is how people say things. It's not what you say, it's like how you say it and how the media takes things out of context. Because a lot of stuff that maybe Nick Cannon has said, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Kanye, there's been sound bites and clips taken, you know what I mean? Just clips here and there just to make it sound a certain way. But then you hear the full audio and be like, well, he didn't say nothing like that, or he backed it up. So that's the power of media as well. And that just goes to show, like, whoever's controlling that media has their own message or has their own rhetoric or whatever they want to get out. So they're going to either manipulate it or change it. So it just all goes back to control. But I say that to say, yeah, you can unlearn stuff. I seen something the other day where I think it was a pastor or a singer back in the day. He ended up being good friends with a KKK member, like one of the high leaders of the KKK. And I think he chose to reach out to him and do an interview. And from that interview, they became like the best of friends, honestly. And then I think later on he quit the KKK and realized his ignorance and all that other stuff. So, we all people at the end of the day. We all want to share, have some of the same common goals of taking care of our family and, just living a good life, whatever. So if you're exposed to information and seeing something new, then I think you can, whatever you're used to, you can change your mind, or you just kind of compare to what you, based on your experiences and all that stuff, and you can definitely unlearn the ignorant or unlearn all that bad stuff if you just have the right source, I think. And you're willing to, you're open mind to learn. If you close minded, it won't even matter.
A shout out to Main Lingo, who was a guest on the show formerly, who also said that he believed that a lot of times the youth today gets challenged a lot based off of the fact that they challenge the stuff that we, the older people, maybe always went along with. And it's the youth of today that has challenged a lot of these things and said, maybe this isn't right, or maybe why do you think that's the best, or whatnot, and things that we maybe just said was the best or whatever. They're challenging it based off of the thoughts that maybe, today it isn't, So shout out to those that do challenge things and make you stand on what you say. So we salute you today with that. But I want to thank my guests today. And, we don't know all the facts to the Ellens situation. We don't know all the facts to a lot of these situations. So a lot of these are just pure speculation. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We do want you to leave your comments and tell us what you think on the subject. I want to thank my guests today. I have on the line Antoine McNeil. Antoine, let the people know where they can find you.
First off, if y'all want to find me on OnlyFans, go to Pornhub. No, I'm just joking. You can find me on Facebook, man. Find me on Instagram. And my last name is spelled really weird. It's MCN as in Nancy, EAIL. MCNEAIL. And people be like, oh, your name is unique. I never seen that before. And I'm like, yeah, it's due to slavery. And then they typically be quiet. Because, like, who last name is spelled like that? Somewhere in my family, McNeil is MCNEAL or MCNEIL. Somebody was so ignorant, they just put it all together. And they was like, yeah, we finna get out of here. And it's the Irish last name. So why am I a black dude with an Irish last name and a French first name? So if you find Hey man, I'm just keeping it funky with you. I told you there's so much truth and humor. They're like, oh my God, he was talking about slavery. I'm talking about where I come from. So you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. We got the largest independently produced comedy show in Wisconsin, minus COVID. So we're trying to find a way to make this digital for people, but I will not do it unless I'm able to give them a high quality performance. So you will see us doing a digital show soon, but we'll have all the things that most people wouldn't even expect. Because you've seen Zoom comedy. We got something different for you. Just give me a moment, give me a second, and we'll be right back at it.
Okay, well, we thank you, Antoine. He's been a guest on a lot of the Radio 22 shows, so we thank him for that as well. Also, to the show, I want to thank my guest, Darnell. Thank you for joining the show. Let the people know where they can find you.
Appreciate it, man. Well, I know we go way back, MJ, so I appreciate you inviting me on the show, sharing my opinions. You can find me on Facebook. My first and last name, Darnell O. Newman. I have a public page, so you can add me, check me out there. Also on Instagram, I'm Inertia, so that's INERTIA_F as in Frank, M as in Mary, M as in Mary. You can find a lot of my posts there on as far as how I feel on finance and just way of life, things of that nature. And then I'm also on Snapchat too. But that's if you're real close, so I know you, whatever, but I'm under Spades D on that as well for Snapchat. But, pretty much that's where you can find me.
And you helping the people with finance, you say?
No. I just like to, just share as far as what I do with finance. I'm actually a ganjapreneur, man. So working in the cannabis industry, advocating to help people who've been, wronged in the past, working with some other entrepreneurs, black-owned entrepreneurs in the area that are actually trying to build up. And unlike Wisconsin, Illinois here is legal, so it's a little more lenient and a lot going on, a lot of opportunity for people to kind of right the wrongs in the past, and just another field for people to come up and make a lot of money on things we've been, dealing with, or smoking, or all that stuff for the past. So
True.
Wisconsin, y'all got to catch up, man. Y'all got to be next up, man, to get that revenue.
Well, we thank you for joining the show. Also, last I had Keekster on the show. Keekster, let the people know where they find you.
Hey man, yeah, I'm not on OnlyFans or Pornhub, but I am on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Keekster7. That's just KEAGSTER7. And then also I'm on YouTube and SoundCloud. It's just Keekster TV, just same way, KEAGSTER space TV. Even if you don't put a space, it'll probably still pop up. And then Facebook, I got a page. It's just Keekster, spelled the same way. And
Okay.
yeah, that's about it. I got Snapchat, but that's personal stuff. But
That's personal. Okay. Do you got any new music dropping anytime soon?
yeah, I don't got a date on it, but I got my MacBook is filled with, my whole desktop is scattered with new music and open verses and all whatnot. So yeah, definitely, I'm always working on music. Probably a mixtape my second mixtape coming out soon, probably before winter for sure. And yeah, it was good talking with all y'all. It's my first actually interview, podcast, anything like it. So I definitely appreciate you having me on.
Okay, well, shout out to you. Thank you for coming to join the show. I want to thank all you for tuning in. Once again, this your boy, Mr. Jizzle. You are watching another episode of Talk 22. We thank you for tuning in. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace, man. Appreciate it.